power.
Shalom, Yasharala.
Shalom.
Shalom, welcome to another class here with ISBHVK. We are located in Houston, Texas. The address is 23FM 1092, Stafford, Texas, zip code 77477. 231, my bad. FM 1092. The class times and days is Mondays and Wednesdays and Fridays. From Mondays and Wednesdays from 7 to 9 p.m., Fridays from 6 to 8, Saturday from 10 a.m. to about 2 p.m. We also got a school in Virginia. Address out there is 2610 Grammy Street, Norfolk, Virginia, zip code 23517. Class times and days, Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Fridays from 7 to 9 p.m. That's Eastern time, and Saturday from 10 a.m. to about 2 p.m. We're gonna have the school, and we're gonna have the address for you guys for the Rochester building in about a week. So definitely stay tuned for that if you're in the upstate New York area. It's dope, man. We're gonna have that for you pretty soon. And then we have a school in San Antonio, Texas too. The address out there is 4444 Walsham Road, Suite 201, San Antonio, Texas, zip code 78218. Class times and days is Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays from 7:30 to about 10:30 p.m. Saturday from 10 a.m. to about 4 p.m. We ask that you like, share, and subscribe to all of our YouTube channels so you can catch classes. As y'all know, we're on live here in Houston Wednesdays. Rochester's going to be on live on Thursdays, right? And then
pretty soon once they get through. Yep.
And Virginia live Fridays, and then we're live here again on Houston on Saturdays, and San Antonio is live every time they go to class, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and Saturday. So we ask that you like, share, and subscribe to the different YouTube channels, of course, where you can get classes. Like, share, and subscribe to the Blog Talk Radio, Mashaba's Blog Talk Radio. Taza Pod drops great classes on there, along with Mashaba. Like, share, and subscribe to the Israelite Media Corp, the Hidden Truth Bible Show, the 5 Minutes of Wisdom. Like, share, and subscribe. View the videos. Check them out. Like, share, and subscribe to the kids class every Sunday at 1 p.m. Let's get the word out. You know, and just on that, man, I definitely recommend everybody to, especially in these times with it being a quote-unquote new year, right?
Mm-hmm. New year, new me.
Everybody want a new year.
New year, new me.
New year, new me. Mm-hmm. New year, new resolution, the quote-unquote new year, right? So, you know, I do challenge everybody to cut down on the social media, cut down on the movies, the Netflix, the series, the music, cut down on all that stuff that's not beneficial for you. And start implementing things that is going to be beneficial for you. So, you know, while you're driving, instead of listening to music, if you're not going to listen to the Bible app to replace the music, you know, you can always listen to a class. I recommend everybody get an AirPod, get some headphones where you could just pop it in and listen to class. Listen to something while you're doing your day-to-day. You know what I'm saying? Because there's a lot of different streams, so might as well use them to your advantage. Passover is coming up on the 17th. Passover is coming up on the 17th of April, so stay tuned for that. Make sure you're saving up your money, putting aside your money for your garments, brothers. Even if it's $100 you're laying aside every time you get paid, you know, that'll get the job done. You know what I'm saying? Until it's time for Passover. Until, you know.
I'm gonna say this. Y'all see the cost of everything is going up.
Right.
So, I mean, when you look at the garments, it's all materials, right? Brothers, you're only paying for materials, so just know that materials are going up. They just are. So keep that in mind. Save what you can. You know, that way when they come out with the prices, it ain't a big surprise.
Right. Everything is going up.
Yeah. Cost of life is going up.
Except the pay.
Except for the pay. Everything's going up except for pay, right? We talked about that on Monday. Minimum wage is still 10 cents.
Yeah.
God. It might as well be, right? You need a 4-family household to live in America. Comfortably.
Yeah.
Right? And a lot of faith. So.
Gas is up, rent is up, mortgage is up.
Yep.
Everything, man. So Yeah.
$100 for one bedroom.
You know, it's funny. Israelites ain't the only ones that's feeling it now, though. All nations here in America is feeling it. It's funny. So, yeah, but anyway, back to this real quick. Let me run through this. So, so please lay aside your garment money. And remember, in February, got to get the date, but in February is going to be Purim.
Purim, right?
So, we're in January. So, January is going to go by like that. It's already the 5th of January, and then next thing you know, Purim. Purim gonna be here. So Purim is probably gonna be here in a month and a half, 6 weeks. So, and then after Purim, Passover is gonna come right behind that. So all this is gonna happen really quickly, y'all. So, you know, definitely prepare yourself for it. Because you gotta have some money for some gifts too, right? So definitely prepare yourself for it. Israel wear is, of course, always accepting orders.
Purim.
Go on there, get you a nice garment made. The subscription, $35 for a shirt, $75 for a shirt and a headband. Brothers is rocking the new shirts in here right now. And in Virginia, of course, Virginia and Rochester does the Hebrew Academy every Monday. We do it every Tuesday here in Houston. If you'd like to contact the priest, their numbers is on the screen. We ask that you support our business. The business is Sweet Ambiance. Hop on sweetambiance.com, support the business. If you'd like to give any donations, man, all the links for the donation is on the screen. Please, y'all, give donations. You know what I'm saying? Give alms, help out wherever you can help out. You know, because it's, you know, Judith 8:24, I think it is. Sanctuary, man, is on our back. So everybody, please help out and give. You know, if you find these classes dope and very informative, then please help out. So with that's it for the announcements. Let's jump into this class.
We went over a good class on Monday, right? What did we go over on Monday? Who remembers? We went over, what was it? You weren't here. You remember?
Yeah, it was roots.
Right, like being rooted. Drawing back, right? Rotting the will of the Gentiles. There was a part of the class that, and this is for people online, y'all weren't here Monday, we didn't go live, but there was a part of the class that I didn't have them go into because I already had the class kind of set up. But what I want to talk about, you can title this class "The Importance of a Guide," and that's what we're going to talk about. We're going to talk about why are leaders guides? Why is it important? Well, first of all, go to Isaiah 30 and 20, and let's see why did the Most High say this? Go to Isaiah 30 and 20. Why did the Most High let us know that this was going to be happening? And why is it significant today and in any arena? Read that for me.
Isaiah chapter 30, verse 20. And though the Lord give you the bread of adversity,
Go ahead.
and the water of affliction,
Mm-hmm.
yet shall not thy teachers be removed into a corner anymore.
Right. That's two key parts here. Right? Water of affliction, bread of adversity, one part. Teachers not removed into a corner, another part. Why is that significant? Why did both sides make it a point to say, even though you're going to go through things, right? Through much affliction, you shall enter into the kingdom. Acts 14:22, right? Even though you're going to get this much affliction, your teachers aren't going to be removed. Why is that important? Significance.
It's very important.
Watch, finish. Read on. I'll let y'all think on it. Read on.
But thine eyes shall see thy teachings.
But it's like, did the Most High want to let you know, like, hey, you're just going to see another man, guys? You know what? You'll see Quadazar, right? Pull up to his house, see him in class, right? Or what was it? What?
To be the example.
Okay. I knew you were going to say that, to be an example. What else?
You see the struggles that they go through, that's gonna make you keep propelling yourself to keep pushing through.
Right. The bread, the water of affliction and the bread of adversity is only are the teachers exempt from that?
Wow.
Like, oh, you're a teacher, so you know what? You ain't got to go through nothing, right? You a teacher now, so Ecclesiasticus 2, that's off the table. That once I become this teacher, Yahweh, that Ecclesiasticus 2 thing, that's only for the students. It's like Amos once said, you were supposed to look at the who, the what, the where, the when, the why, and the how. Right? How are they going through the affliction? How are they drinking that water? How are they eating that bread? Why do you equate affliction and adversity to water and bread? What?
It's so common.
It's common, right? It just, those are things you need to sustain yourself.
Yeah.
But he's showing us that that's going to be there. As much bread as you want to eat, as much water as you can drink, you're going to catch hell. We're going to catch hell in these times. Me and him was rapping the other day, and I'm going to drop it. I was going to either do this class or this class that I'm going to tell you about. But we were talking yesterday, and I was just like, man, people don't realize the amount of death that happens on a daily basis. And I mean like what we call random accidents, right? I remember their little New Year was a woman. She gets hit in the chest. She got 3 kids with no mama. My thing is, why the hell you out in the club at 3 a.m. when you got 3 kids at home? I get it. We know how they do the world, right? That's the MO. New Year's turn up. It's gonna be a new year, new me after this turn up real quick. Yeah. Right? Give me till the 2nd and I'm gonna be good, right? But imagine if that happened once in all 50 states. That's 50 bodies of just random gunshots. Now we know damn well, I'm pretty sure, I didn't get the numbers, I'm pretty sure, man, over 100 people got killed just by guns that night, that morning, January the 1st. I'm pretty sure. Right? Just walking out the club, just in the wrong place at the wrong time, just around the wrong people. Right? So, we were talking about that, and we know that that affliction, those things that we got to go through, sometimes it's like, man, we pile them on ourselves. And I was, we were rapping, and I was like, man, people don't understand what time we in. It's like we're literally in the time of death, where at any moment. Look, did y'all see the one with the HPD officer? He was doing 100 miles an hour.
Oh yeah,
and ran over old dude and killed him.
That was off of Reed and Scott. That's the Sunnyside.
Yep.
Reed
yeah, he was, bro. And they got his whole dash cam, his whole body cam showing him doing between 80 and 100 miles an hour, one-handing it in the rain. In the rain.
Off of Reed and Scott.
It's like, come on, man. So, there's so many. Look at, did y'all hear about George Floyd's niece here in Houston? Now, they're saying that wasn't random, that they probably targeted the house, which I can see. Some angry people, didn't like the verdict, whatever the case may be. But come on, little girl got shot in her bed. 4 years old, took to crack ribs, bullet to the perforated lung, and a busted liver. I mean, do we not see what time it is? Do we not see that the Most High is he said he will visit the earth and the fire will go out? That fire is, bro, like how many deaths do we got to feel? Now, that's a different class, right? But part of seeing your teachers and that affliction and that bread and that water, there's certain things that you were supposed to see from them to keep you out of those random anomalies, those random, that was just a random fight. That was just a random argument at the corner store at 3 in the morning. I can't tell the last time I was out at 3 in the morning. When was the last time you was out at 3 in the morning, other than having to do something weird for the truck? See my point? It's always something related to what we got going on in the school. If you want to talk about 3 in the morning randomness, or I'm just throwing it. I can't remember 3 in the morning. 3 in the morning, I'm looking at eyelids.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I'm waking my rib up with snores. Right? So jump back to where you were at. Where'd you end off at? So those two things, water of affliction, bread of adversity, teachers not removed into a corner. Go ahead.
Go
ahead.
If I could say this real quick too, this is a very important scripture because there's a lot of YouTube teachers online and
Great point.
they be teaching a lot of different things, but a lot of them, you don't even see their face. You don't know what the hell they look like. You don't know who it is that's teaching you the Bible. You know what I'm saying? So it's very important that the scripture is very important because you do get to see, like the scripture says, your teachers. You get to be around them. You get to see there's nothing to hide. You get to see their family. You don't just get to see them, but you get to see their families and see how their families move around them. You get to see how they carry that standard of a bishop, because I've seen cats online that's teaching weird doctrines, but you can't see their face. You just hear their voice. You know what I'm saying? And they telling you all kinds of craziness. And a lot of Israelites is believing in them. But this simple little scripture right here.
I've seen the opposite. I've seen brothers drop the word beautifully. Gifted speech. Mm-hmm. Sounds like butter on a roll. But when you meet them, breath smelling like Hennessy.
Yeah.
Breath smelling like a pack of Newports.
God.
Right? They can teach the word. They can drop it, but they got mad accusations on social media. Right? They got all the again. They got all the rib scriptures. They got all the put a sister in check scriptures, right? But they walking around with that whoremongering spirit. You know, part of seeing your teachers is seeing that it gives you guys a chance to see the hypocrisy.
Yeah.
It gives you a chance to sit back and say, "Wait a minute, is this a Pharisee I'm dealing with?" Where, what did Yahweh Shai say about the Pharisees? Do as they say.
Not as they do.
You had your hand up. Go do as they say, not as they do. Right? Because they bid you one thing, but they'll go do it the opposite. Right? They'll go do the opposite. Now, seeing your teacher and them not being hidden, us not being hidden, I like the word transparency. Being able to, just pull up on a brother at any time, or make a phone call at any time, or send a text at any time. It cuts down that there's something to hide mentality, like he said, like, man, what's he hiding? Or what's going on over here behind closed doors? Like, our doors are always open. But it's by design to remove that misconception. Because as we go, I'm gonna show y'all something about your teachers. Finish that up.
Verse 21.
Your eye, it says, "Thine eye shall see thy teachers." You're gonna he got a beautiful beard. Nah, it's to see the aspects of them applying the word, doing the things that they're telling you that you can do. You having the example, like Amma once said, having those examples of going through, it ain't just affliction and adversity, right? Mm-hmm. What else is it? What else is it? It's joy.
Blessings.
It's how to deal with blessings. It's how to deal with curses. It's how to not be overly joyful and overly angry. It's how to be level. These are the things that the Most High is wanting all of us to. We all got teachers on every level. There's somebody above you teaching, right? So at every level, we're supposed to be watching and saying, wait a minute, how is this person moving in this situation?
You know what's crazy? I want y'all to think about a lot of the things that you have learned, not just in the truth, but just in life. You learn a lot just by not even saying anything and watching an individual, and they don't even know that they're teaching you something. They're just being them. They're just living their lives doing something, and then somebody will be watching, and they'll be like, "Oh, I see how you did that," or "I like the structure. I like the order that you have in this house," or I see the way you do your job. I see the way you carry yourself. You know what I'm saying? And it happens to us all the time where you'll be at work, and just the way you carry yourself at work, people are like, "There's something different about you. What is it?" You know what I mean? People gravitate to that spirit. So it happens a lot.
And it happens on two separate ends of the pendulum.
Yeah.
On two separate ends of the spectrum. And watch what we'll do. Read on it, and we're going to go through a few examples of just different men that had to be followed, different men that had to be led. So finish that up.
Verse 21.
Right.
And thine ears shall hear a word.
Right.
behind
Go,
thee.
go ahead. Wait, no. In over the phone.
Behind thee.
Oh no, he was texting.
Behind thee.
Right. Go ahead.
Saying, this is the way. Walk ye in it.
This is the way. Walk in it. Now, it's like a child. It's like when I stand behind my son and he's walking. I'm like, no, don't do that. And what am I doing? I'm speaking in his ears, but I'm also guiding him by the shoulders, right? I'm like, nah, move over real quick, or get out, or move over, or I'm moving him in the ways that he should walk, right? This is the significance of the teacher, the guide, right? The guide is important. The teacher is important. But see, I think it's even more important than what y'all think. It's more important than what y'all think. And as we go, we'll see. Go ahead.
When ye turn to the right hand.
Right.
And when ye turn to the left.
Right. That guide, that teacher, that mentor. We could use many different words. Yahweh Shai was a guide. He was a teacher. He was a mentor. He was a father figure. He was a counselor. He was all these things, right? To the 12 apostles. He was all these things to them. We're gonna go through. We got Yahweh Shai and the apostles. We got Elisha and Elijah. We got Moses and Joshua. And I got one I'm not gonna tell y'all yet. We're gonna save it because it's on the opposite end. But from there, go to let's get into it a little bit. Go to Matthew 4. And you know, the one thing about the guide, the one thing about the guide protege relationship was that protege, that up and comer, they had to understand that they were there to be led. Now, when we read about the apostles, they plainly and clearly understood that. Get me the one where he got Matthew. It's like Matthew's 5.
Okay.
Where he said he was at the audit.
Okay.
You know what I'm talking about? Yeah. Read that. Matthew's chapter 4 and verse 18.
Matthew chapter 4 verse 18.
Right?
And Jesus walking by the sea of Galilee.
Go ahead.
Saw two brethren, Simon called Peter.
Right?
And Andrew his brother, casting a net into the sea.
Right?
For they were fishers.
They were what?
Fishers.
Matthew's 9:9.
Oh, Matthew 9. Okay. They were fishermen, right? They were fishers. So they were out there doing what? Their job. They were out there doing their profession at that time. Go ahead.
And he said unto them,
Right?
Follow me, and I will make you fishers of men.
Right. Listen, you know how to fish the fish? Follow me, and I'm going to make you fishers of men. But that's the key point. Follow me. Follow me. Right? Not we're equals. Not, do it the way you want. Not, half-ass it, but follow. That's a very important part. Follow me.
Yeah.
And I'll make you fishers of men. So what was Yahweh Shai showing to these two apostles? That You let me lead, and I'll make you better than what you are now.
All right.
Go ahead.
You know,
Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
just real quick too, we always use the scripture where it says, my sheep hear my voice, right? You know, when you look at these disciples, they're a good example of my sheep hear my voice. Because it's not just about hearing the truth and, oh yeah, that's the truth. It's about actually hearing and following, like he's saying. So when you look at the disciples, they heard, and what do? They followed. So it's just like, if you go on YouTube and you type in a shepherd calling his sheep, when that shepherd calls his sheep, another man can call the sheep, say the same words in the same tone, the sheep would they won't even react to it. But when that shepherd calls the sheep, they get up, and they walk to the sheep, to the shepherd, and they all surround him, and they're waiting on him to tell them what to do. You see what I'm saying?
I just seen something that they did with sheep in Germany. They made the sheep line up they had like 1,000 sheep. They made them line up in a way that they looked like one big hypodermic needle.
Damn.
They were trying to get the people in Germany vaccinated. They were like, yeah, we've been rehearsing with the sheep for a week. The lady, the news anchor laughed, like, rehearsing? Because they're not getting that the sheep hear his voice.
Yeah.
He's rehearsing with them and making them line up the way he wants them to line up. They made this big hypodermic. You can look it up. It was on the news this morning.
Mm-hmm.
They made a big hypodermic needle you could see from the sky, just with the sheep in a formation. But when he said, "Yeah, we rehearsed," she was like, "Rehearsed?" Like, yeah, my sheep hear my voice.
Okay.
They'll do what I say. They'll follow me.
Yep.
Go ahead.
Verse 20. And they straightway left their nets,
Right.
followed him.
Now, I want y'all to just hold on to that part about the nets. That's real important. Go ahead.
Verse 21. And going on from thence,
Uh-huh.
he saw other two brethren,
So this is going to happen again. You're going to see the next two apostles. Go ahead.
James the son of
Zebedee's.
Zebedee,
Uh-huh.
and John his brother,
Right, the sons of thunder. These are the sons of thunder. Go ahead.
in a ship with Zebedee, their father,
Go ahead.
mending their nets, and he called them.
Right.
And they immediately left the ship and their father,
Right.
and followed him.
Go ahead.
And Jesus went about all Galilee, teaching in their synagogues,
Right.
and preaching the gospel of the kingdom, and healing all manner of sickness and all manner of disease among the people.
Right. So we see, go to Matthews 9:9 real quick. We see how, and we've been through this before, we've read this before, but we're seeing that when Yahweh Shai called the apostles, there wasn't a physical struggle, right? Did he have to put them in headlocks? No, right? There wasn't a mental struggle. Even at that point, there wasn't a struggle of, why should I go with this man? Now, they didn't know him from a can of paint, right? From one of them fish in their net. They didn't know him from one of the fish in their net. But something in them told them, right? Go to Matthews 9:9.
Matthew chapter 9, verse 9. And as Yahushua passed forth from thence, he saw a man named Matthew,
Right?
sitting at the receipt of custom.
Receipt of custom. He was basically a tax collector. Now, to be a tax collector in these times, that was kind of the job you wanted.
Okay.
That was the job. You know why? Because they was getting paid. And if you were a dishonest man, this was the job to really have. Because you could overtax the people, right? Remember the brother, what was the brother's name that he was up in the tree trying to, what was his name? But he invited Yahweh Shai back to his house. Remember they were like, oh, you sit with a publican and a sinner? He was a tax collector. But why was he a sinner? Because he was overtaxing the people. He was living good off the extra taxing. But this was a good, prestigious job to have. I'm pretty sure, Matthew wasn't hurting when it came financially.
Yeah.
Right? He was always handling money. He was always dealing with money. Obviously, that was a government job.
Yeah.
Right? Here goes a cat working for the government. I got that good old paying government job. 401k, benefits, right? Prestige. stature, right?
Yeah.
Longevity, because niggas gotta pay taxes, right? There's two things guaranteed in this life: death and taxes, right? So we're gonna always need somebody to collect. As long as he stayed honest or just stayed collecting, nobody was gonna look at. And I'm not saying Matthew was a dishonest guy, but what I'm saying is, for the ones that were dishonest, nobody was looking at their dishonesty. As long as Caesar got what Caesar was owed, all that extra was extra. You put that in your pocket. So the point that I'm trying to make is Matthew, he had a great job, right? It's the equivalent of a man working a government job today and being right there. Like, man, I can retire. My 401k is going to be popping. My pension, right? Go ahead.
And he saith unto him,
Right.
Follow me. And he arose and followed him.
Right, and he arose and followed him. And then it goes through, I don't believe it goes through and shows about all the other apostles being chosen. But we know that Yahweh Shai, we got 5 examples out of the 12, right? But we know he went through and he handpicked each one of these men. And even that was significant. He handpicked them knowing what they had going on. You think he didn't know that the sons of thunder had a daddy? And that they were working for him, that them leaving was going to affect Pop's livelihood? So we sometimes skip that part.
Yeah.
Right? They were part of the workforce. So them leaving that's less fish coming in. Now Papa got to pull all the weight. Papa Zebedee, right? He got to do more work. So we got those examples. Let's go to Kings. Let's go to 1 Kings 19. And verse 19. 1 Kings 19 and 19.
1 Kings chapter 19, verse 19.
Right?
So he departed thence.
And again, I want y'all to remember this story. I want you to remember the story with Yahweh Shai and the apostles. But see, check this out. When you look at the things that Yahweh Shai did, a lot of them were already done. A lot of them were already done, so that way when he did it, it couldn't be like, oh, well, you're doing something weird and new. We're going to talk about Elisha and Elijah here and see that the man Elijah went and handpicked Elisha. He handpicked him. Out of all the men he could have picked, he picked this man whose father was rich off of cattle. And he's out there in the field working. Read.
And found Elisha, the son of Shaphat,
Right.
who was plowing with 12 yoke of oxen
Right.
before him.
12 yoke of oxen. One yoke is 2 oxen. So there was 12 yoke, 24 oxen out in the field doing their work. Elisha had 2 that he was working with. Go ahead.
And he with the 12, and Elisha passed by him.
You see that? And he with the 12th. So he had the 12th set of oxen, the 12th yoke. Go ahead.
And cast his mantle upon him.
Cast his mantle. The mantle is his coat,
Yeah.
right? You ever see like remember when James Brown used to do that little thing and they get the coat and they put it on him and it signified him being like kinged or crowned or chosen? This is where they get it from. He threw that mantle on him. You're the one. Right? Go ahead.
Verse 20. And he left the oxen and ran after Elijah.
Right.
And said, Let me, I pray thee, kiss my father and my mother.
Because it wasn't like, oh, I don't want to go with you. Remember, this is random.
Yeah.
He didn't know him before this.
Unexpected.
Like this dude's out in the field working. And a man comes up like, let's go. Nigga, what? In this day and age, you'd be like, what? 911. He's trying to kidnap me. Right?
God.
It's weird. You look the whole time you're looking for the raper van. Right? You're looking for the
Raper chariot?
yeah, you're looking for the Silence of the Lambs van. Right? With the carpet inside. And the curtains on the window, you looking for that? Like, wait, hold on, what's going on here? Come with you. But see, these men, there was an understanding. They were able to recognize, wait, ooh, hold on. This is a teacher. Now, I really want you to really understand these men. If Elisha could look at Elijah and recognize, I should go with him. If the apostles could look at Christ and recognize, we should go with him. What was life really about in those times? Did what?
Spiritual side.
Men didn't give a damn about jobs. As far as like, oh, let me go be this type of trade. We didn't care about that. We didn't care. That wasn't the focus.
Yeah.
It was about it was about being the understudy to someone and being a wise man. But if there's not very many wise men roaming and then you come upon one, the thought is, it says in Ecclesiasticus 6, right? When you see a wise man, get thee betimes him, right? Wear his footsteps, right? When you see a man of understanding, watch, get that. I don't have it in here, but get that. You know, you really got to see these men. Where were their minds at? On fishing? Gone fishing. Where were their minds at? On yoking? On letting the ox pull them around? Where was their minds at? If they could so easily just say, you know what? I know I got to get money and all, but this fishing thing can wait. Let me roll with this guy. Didn't they even say it? Who was it? Nicodemus? No, not Nicodemus. Who said it? We found him, and they said no good thing can come out of Nazareth, right? They recognized like, wait, we found who? We found the Christ. We found the Savior. We found the teacher, the master, the apprentice. Not the apprentice. That's a different word. But we found him. Go ahead. Read Ecclesiasticus. I want you to read chapter 6, and it's probably like the third to last verse.
Can I read this real quick?
Yeah, read what you want.
Just on what you're saying.
Wait, where you going?
It's 1 Samuel 3:1.
Go ahead.
It says, and the child Samuel ministered unto the Lord before Eli, and the word of the Lord was precious in those days. So like you were saying, like back then people didn't care about, you know what I'm saying, certain things. What they cared about was being, an understudy, being taught, getting wisdom, getting knowledge. And why? Because it says it right here.
Yeah, and even in that instance, it was precious because everything was cut off. The Most High wasn't dealing with cats. Yep. He cut off the visions. He cut off that access. So it was even more precious. But think about it. Even for Samuel to come, his mama said, look, let him be born, but I'm going to give him to wise men.
Yeah.
She didn't say, oh, you know what? Let me get a son and make him a football player. I'll give him the football camp. I'll give him the band camp. I'll give him the this. She said, no, I'll give him to the priests. I want y'all to really think about the mind state of the people at that time, the ones that were seeking righteousness. They weren't on professions. These dudes was like, cool. Let's do it. Let's see what Elisha did. Go ahead.
Ecclesiasticus chapter 6, verse 36. And if thou seest a man of understanding,
go ahead.
Get thee betimes.
Get thee betimes. Get next to him quick. Get next to him quickly. Go ahead.
And let thy foot wear the steps of his door.
Yeah, meaning what? You don't leave that man's side. You don't leave that man's side. Remember, Elijah told Elisha, wait here for me. He was like, nope, I'm coming with you. Before he died, I need a double portion. Right? Nope, you ain't ready for that yet. Just keep following. Just keep watching. Keep studying. He was a walking remember they used the word understudy? What is an understudy studying? That man, that teacher, that guy, that's right there in front of him. You got that walking lesson right there in front of you. It's very important. But it just really, because we sit there and think like, man, why did they just walked off and just went with Christ? Hell yeah, they did. Them niggas was thirsty the whole time. This is what they've been waiting for their whole entire life. Not to be fishermen. Elisha just walks off with Elijah. But wait, let me go tell my parents goodbye. Out of nowhere? Yeah, because you know what? This is what he was waiting for his whole life. It wasn't about his parents. It wasn't about the ox. Watch. Read on.
Verse 37.
Uh-huh.
Let thy mind be upon the ordinances of the Lord,
Go ahead.
and meditate continually in his commandments.
Oh, there's another one. If thou miscarry. It's Ecclesiasticus. Go to Ecclesiasticus. Huh?
I think there's 2039.
I thought there was one in 8.
Oh, 39 and 1.
No, not that one. No, go to Ecclesiasticus 8. Let's see here. There's one that says, you can go to Ecclesiasticus 8 and 8. Read that one. But there was one that said if you miscarry. Go ahead, read that.
Ecclesiasticus chapter 8, verse 8.
Mm-hmm.
Despise not the discourse of the wise,
Right.
but acquaint thyself with their proverbs. For
Right.
of them
Huh?
thou shalt learn instruction.
From them, what?
From them thou shalt learn instruction.
Now think about it. What wasn't the sons of thunder and Matthew? Matthew he learned instruction. He knew how to collect taxes. The brothers knew how to fish. Elisha knew how to plow with the ox. What other instruction was needed? I'm gonna let y'all hold on to that thought. Rhetorical. Go to Ecclesiasticus 37 and 12. This is the one I wanted, I think. Yeah. There it is. Read that. Ecclesiasticus 37 and verse 12.
Ecclesiasticus chapter 37, verse 12. But be continually with a godly man,
Right?
whom thou knowest to keep the commandments
See,
of the Lord.
This is what these men were on. Being in a continuous state with the godly. That's why it was so easy for them to pack up and leave their families. Not that their families weren't on some godly level, but guess what? This is a prophet, right? This is he's a man of God, right? The man of God, you know what they say in the church? The man of God, right? That's the man of God, like, that's him. Come on, man. You think Elisha, when he saw Elijah, it wasn't like, whoa, wait a minute, what's happening here? For him to be like, wait. Let me just go at least tell my parents. Shalom?
Yeah.
Elisha was like, bro, what that got to do with me?
Yeah.
Like, bro.
I'm looking at the scripture now. He said.
No, we're going to read it.
Oh.
We're going to read it. Jump back.
Oh, okay.
Jump back to Kings. Jump back to Kings, and we're going to read it.
Well, you don't want to read that Ecclesiasticus 37 first?
He did. He read it. 37 and 12.
Okay.
Oh, did you finish
Nah,
it?
you never. Yeah.
Finish 37 and 12. I'm sorry.
Whose mind is according to thy mind.
See, whose mind, this is why it was so easy for the brothers to roll with Christ. This is why it was so easy for Elisha to leave his family and go with Elijah.
Yeah.
Because their minds were aligned. I got it. You need it. I need it. You got it. That was all that needed to be done, understood at that time. There's something I have that you have, something I want, you have. In order for me to get it, you got to follow. That's all that was understood. That's all that had to be agreed upon for that moment. We'll sort out all the other things, the intricacies later. Where we going to eat, what we going to drink, we'll deal with that later.
Take no thought for tomorrow.
Or the Son of Man have no certain dwelling place. So you sure you want to roll? You sure you want to come with me?
Yeah.
Because I don't got it like you think I do. All I got is this word, right? We're going to have to live off the spirit, for real, for real. Jump back to, did you finish it? Go ahead.
And will sorrow with thee,
Right?
if thou shalt miscarry.
Right? Right, if you drop the ball, miscarry. If if you know what happens with a miscarriage, premature birth, or that baby dies.
I got some synonyms too for
What you got?
miscarriage.
What you got?
One of them is fail.
Fails, right? That womb fails. That's a miscarriage.
Sometimes you need somebody. You need a godly man around you when you fail. Just in anything. Like you had plans, the plans fell through. You know what I'm saying? You need that person there to be able to show you why you failed, so that you can, like it says in Proverbs, a righteous man falleth 7 times. So when you fall, because that's another one of the synonyms for miscarry too, is if you fall. So if you fall, or if you broke down, or if you perished, or if you misfire, or if you go amiss, these are all synonyms. It's good to have. Or if you came to nothing or came to naught, all synonyms. So if any of these things happen to you, it's good to have a godly person there to tell you, like, yeah, you fell, but get back up. Don't go off into the deep end.
Don't self-condemn.
Don't do what Job's wife said, curse God and die.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying?
Yep. Get back on that path.
Yeah.
You will see your teachers and you'll hear, right, behind you.
Okay.
If you go to the left hand, I went off. Nope, get back on course. Remember, to get into the kingdom is not the left hand or the right hand, it's the straight and narrow. So to miscarry is going into the left hand or going to the right hand too much. Too much of one side. Nope. Let's get you back. A just man falls 7 times. Well, what's the big problem with a lot of people? I just said it. A lot of people make mistakes. They fall, and what do they automatically do? They condemn themselves.
Yeah.
You got a lot of self-condemners in Israel, man, that can't, and you'll never be able to repent that way. When David,
No, I was saying very, very true.
Yeah, you can't repent. Right? You acknowledge, what did David say? I acknowledge my sin. My sin is ever before you.
Okay.
So you take ownership, and then you move the hell on. When David sinned, man, listen, he knew what was up. He fasted beforehand. He fasted before he was the time of fasting. He got that out the way. He like, man, let me get this out the way and keep it moving. Why? Because he was about to, he acknowledged his mess up when he dealt with Bathsheba. Right? When he numbered the people. He didn't blame anybody. He said, listen, let me just fall in the hands of the Lord, because he'll at least have some mercy on me.
Didn't Job do that too for his kids?
Job sacrificed. They say he sacrifices his kids just in case.
Yeah.
Beforehand. Yeah, be ready a year ago, right? Yeah. But y'all see the point of this miscarry. A guide, a leader, a mentor. They were there to help you out of this miscarry, out of this misfire, out of these failures. Why? Because they once failed.
Yeah.
But you're seeing the product of when you look at me, when you look at him, you're seeing the product of failure. Believe it or not.
Yeah.
You're seeing the product of many failures. Right? Because it's not the wins that really count, it's the failures that you get through. That's really what makes you. What do you think made David? The fact that he sang all the Psalms and you know what I'm saying, he killed 10,000 men. Most High didn't give a damn about none of that. He looked at, how did you get that? Why was David perfect in the eyes of the Most High?
He was willing to repent and get back up and keep moving.
Yeah. It was how, but it wasn't that it was how he did it. How I'm gonna bounce back. David is a product of failure. I know it sounds weird, like, huh? Listen, we're all products of failure. That's why we're here. Because we failed and made mistakes and had the wherewithal enough to get back up and say, you know what, I can move on from the mistake. Why do you think a lot of people commit suicide? I'm gonna let you come in. Because they don't know how to get past their mistake. They don't know how to get past failure. So you'll never see that product come to fruition. Where we're not dwelling on the negative, be not overcome with evil, but overcome evil with good. There's always going to be a misunderstanding. There's always going to be some sin. There's always going to be us falling short of the grace. That's what makes us. Until we don't have to deal in that flesh. What were you gonna say?
Just on the points of what David was doing right, he didn't blame anybody. Anytime that he messed up, he solely took it upon himself.
Yeah, he took up accountability for himself. Yeah. Go back to Kings. 1 Kings 9, where you at?
1 Kings chapter 9, verse 20.
Uh-huh.
19, verse 20. And he left the oxen and ran after Elisha.
Right.
Elijah,
Uh-huh.
and said, let me, I pray thee, kiss my father and mother,
Right?
and then I will follow thee.
Go ahead.
And he said unto him, go back again, for what have I done to thee? And he returned back from him, and took a yoke of oxen, and slew them,
Right?
and boiled their flesh with the instruments of the oxen,
Go ahead.
and gave unto the people, and they did eat. Then he arose and went after Elijah.
What verse you at?
Verse 21.
Go ahead.
And ministered unto him.
Right? No. He became his equal.
And ministered unto him.
No, they were homies. They were homeboys, and they was just chilling.
And ministered unto him.
No, he went and followed Elijah and became a servant to Elijah. But you know one of the coldest parts of this verse? One of the coldest parts. Read 21 again.
And he returned back from him.
Uh-huh.
And took a yoke of oxen.
That same yoke that he was plowing with. Read.
And slew them.
Right?
And boiled their flesh with the instruments of the oxen.
You know what the instruments of the oxen is?
Oh shit.
That's the yoke that they're under. He used that for a fire, boiled them up. What did that signify? What?
That the job isn't as important as what, like,
No, you got it.
that job isn't as important as this word, like following.
Right. Think about it. If he took the same ox that he was plowing with and all the things that they were all yoked together with and burned it all up, what was he showing? He said it, but
I'm done.
I'm done.
Come on.
I'm done.
Not going back.
I'm not going back because it wasn't nothing to go back to. That's listen, when it said they straightway, go back to Matthew's real quick, 4.
You know it's cold, bro.
Go back to Matthew's 4 real quick. What's that?
What's cold? I know we talked about this, but I just got done reading Kings, and I read over that.
Can't
Like
read over
that.
things, man. You gotta really.
that.
I'm like instrument, yeah.
Specific part where it was like,
Yep.
oh yeah, he took and burned the oxen. I didn't pay attention to the instruments.
Yeah. The instruments of the oxen was what they were yoked up with. So him destroying the yoke. Listen, I'm not gonna be a slave to this profession. I'm giving it up. Them casting away their nets. Read Matthew 4 and verse 20.
Matthew chapter 4, verse 20.
Yes. Go ahead.
And they straightway left their nets and followed him.
Right, they left their nets because without that net, are you a fisherman? Try to catch fish with your hands. You be out there whack, right? That boy will slither right off. Slip and slide, bro, right? You a net fisher? No, you're going to get one fish, if that, per day. And some real hurt fingers. The net was the most significant part of the job. It said they straightway left their nets. But that was them physically and mentally separating from that instruction that they were given to undertake another instruction.
Yeah.
Elisha, when he said he boiled up think about it, the same ox that you plowing with, that's the worker. The ox is the worker. It wasn't Elijah, or excuse me, it wasn't Elisha. That's like saying, you know what? You're a truck. You got a vehicle, right? You're an Uber driver, and we're like, listen, you got to come follow us, and you just take the Uber while it's driving, hop out of it, and run it into a wall. Like, it ain't got to be that extreme, right? We might need that car for the camp, right? Don't do that, right? We can take the Uber and lift slide off, right? Right? You ain't got to get that extreme, but y'all see my point.
God, I do.
It's like he literally took his livelihood. That was the livelihood. Or was it? Or was it? See, again, how did we perceive things at that time and how we have been programmed to perceive things now? You know what's wild? I just read there's more jobs available in America than people working. They said that for every 3 people for every 3 jobs, there's 2 people to fill it. 4 million?
Yeah.
4.1 million people quit their jobs last month.
Yep.
Some of them went for higher paying jobs and things like that, but a lot of people are saying, you know what? This yoke and slavery thing, this working around the clock thing, this weekends. Remember when jobs was 9 to 5, you get an hour lunch and you got paid for that? It was literally 9 to 5. That's 8 hours. You got paid for the whole 8. They paid you an hour lunch break. You had Monday through Friday, weekends off. Phone didn't ring after 5. Now it's 9 to 6, 9 to 7. Weekends is you got to have open availability. Like, what is that? You got to be on call for some. You got to work overnight for some. Holidays. Oh, and they dupe you. Oh, we'll give you triple time and a half. And you're like, well, at least they paying me triple time. Where you know damn well it ain't about the money. That's their way to get you away from, obviously the holidays, their holidays, right? But they even find a way to destroy that for you and keep you out your house and keep you away from your family. But these men were like, we're done with that. Now, again, the mind state wasn't that we weren't going to work, that we weren't going to provide, but they knew, come on, man, for this man to leave his family, let me kiss them goodbye, let me have a feast, let me do these. Why do you want to go do those last little gestures? Let me go have a feast and kiss them goodbye. What?
That might have been the last time you ever seen them.
Thank you. He didn't know when he was going to see them again. I'm rolling with this man that just came out of nowhere. I can end up in anywhere at any time. Right? Where are you going? Wherever the Spirit takes us. Wherever the wind blows where the hell it wants, so the Spirit goes where it wants. Right? So he knew that he could, listen, that'd be the last time he saw his family. Let me at least let him know I'm leaving. Right? You think like he just disappeared in the field or got hit by a stray bull or got kidnapped. Elijah was like, go handle your business. Right? So, we got Elisha, we got Elijah, we got Christ, the apostles. Let's deal with Moses. Let's deal with Moses and Joshua. Now, this is going to be a little bit different because when we're dealing with the dynamic of Moses and Joshua, what I want to highlight is not what Joshua gave up to follow Moses, because truthfully, nobody had to give up a damn thing but Egypt. Right? As long as we are in the mind that, you know what, we don't want to be under that yoke, we're all good. But what I want to highlight is with Joshua and Moses, as we get a little deeper into the class, how long it took Joshua to take the leadership position. Now, when you read Moses and Joshua, it sounds a little bit like what other 2 men, if you know the stories. What?
Elijah and Elisha.
No, we haven't talked about him yet. Who?
Oh, I was going to say Noah and Aaron.
No, this is going to go further into the future. Well, we'll get to it. Watch. Go to Numbers, because there was something that Moses did. Why the Most High said, "Okay, we have to get Joshua up here." Right? Y'all remember what Moses did? What did Moses do?
I was going to say Eli and Samuel.
No.
Okay.
No. But what did Moses do?
He struck the rock.
Right.
Right. Instead of talking to the rock, right? The Most High gave him instructions this time. Go talk to the rock, right? At Meribah. Go talk to it. It's going to bring forth its water. Moses, dealing with hard-headed Israel, right? What did he do? He hit the rock. Water came, right? But after that instance, the Most High was like, okay, you messed up there, buddy. We have to appoint someone else.
Yeah.
right?
I got you.
We have to put somebody else up because that wasn't what you're supposed to do. So we're going to have to put him up. You can't make it to the promised land. You'll see it from afar off. That sounds like somebody else that was instructed to do something and didn't do it. What?
Is it the one that we was talking about in Sabbath class?
Which one?
Ooh,
Y'all know who it is. It's very, very there. What? No, not Jonah. It's dealing with two men. What?
Saul and David.
Saul and David. Go do one thing. I did do it. But you didn't. I got somebody set up. Watch. Well, let's read it. We can talk about it. Let's read it. Go to Numbers 27 and verse 18. Now, again, this is going to be a little bit of a different dynamic from the Yahushua apostles, Elisha and Elijah, because, again, these men were already bound to a profession and gave that up. Joshua was a young boy. He was not a young boy, but he was a young man. He was young. He was young. He died at 110. I mean, at this time, bro, Joshua was probably around 20 years old. And he was one of the spies. He was above 20. No, he was under. He was under 20 because it said that nobody under that age. No. He was above 20 because it said that whole generation would pass away except for him and Caleb. They were above 20. So he was probably 21, 22 years old. He was young. He was young. When you do the math and you go through it, he died at 110. But then when you look at the time frame, he was about in his 20s, right? Moses was already in his 80?
Yeah.
Moses was 80 years old, right? Read that. Numbers 27 and 18. Yes, sir.
Numbers chapter 27, verse 18.
Mm-hmm.
And the Lord said unto Moses, Take thee, Joshua, the son of Nun,
Right.
a man in whom is the Spirit,
Go ahead.
and lay thine hand upon him,
Right.
and set him before Eleazar
Mhm.
the priest, and before all the congregation, and give him a charge in their sight.
So this is after Moses hit the rock. Most High is letting Moses know, this is what you're going to do in front of all the people to signify Joshua taking over. Now, if I'm not mistaken, we hadn't walked through the wilderness yet. It hadn't been 40 years yet. Right? When did Joshua take the actual mantle from Moses? When what?
When he died.
When Moses died 40 years later.
Yeah.
So what was going on in 40 years? What's the significance of 40 years and Joshua up under Moses for 40 years? What was Joshua to Moses?
The understudy, basically.
The Bible says he was his servant. But yes, understudy, servant, protege. I love that word. I love that word. I love that word, protege. Right? Student. Right? Let's read it. Let's read on.
Verse 20. And thou shalt put some of thine honor upon him.
Go ahead.
That all the congregation of the children of Israel may be obedient.
Right. You're gonna usher him in. Listen, when I go, this is the guy y'all follow. Right? You're gonna put that honor on him. They all looked at Moses as a god, right? We were ignorant in that way. So now Moses gotta usher some of that same reverence over to Joshua. Right? Listen, this is who you're gonna follow. He's gonna finish the job and get us into the promised land. Go ahead.
Verse 21. And he shall stand before Eleazar the priest.
Go ahead.
Who shall ask counsel for him after the judgment of Urim
Go ahead.
before the Lord.
Uh-huh.
At his word shall they go out, and at his word shall they come in.
Right.
Both he and all the children of Israel with him, even all the congregation. And Moses did as the Lord commanded him. And he took Joshua and set him before Eleazar the priest, and before all the congregation. And he laid his hands upon him.
Go ahead.
And gave him a charge, as the Lord commanded by the hand of Moses.
Right. So again, this was right at the start of the 40 years. So let's jump over to Deuteronomy 31 and verse 14. But I want y'all to think about this. What was happening in 40 years? And why did it take that long for Joshua to become, right? I mean, if the Most High knew he was going to replace Moses, why not do it on the spot? Don't your boss, when they know they're about to fire you, they ain't waiting for you to train your replacement. They're like, this nigga's about to be disgruntled. You don't teach them the wrong way. Like, if you know you're about to get fired and they got the replacement,
Let you go in a heartbeat.
you going to train that person?
Nah.
Hell no, you're not, right? That's why the jobs don't keep you around. They're like, no, you're gonna spit rhetoric in their ear and you're gonna bash the job and talk negative. They know that, right? You're gonna show them a bad example. It might be, oh no, workplace tension, right? We want to avoid workplace tension. So your 2 weeks, keep that, right? We got train him for like 2 days, or we'll bring somebody else in to train. I used to have to do that back in the management days. But no, we get somebody else to train them. You're good. We don't want you to. Your example is bad. But think about 2 things here. The Most High told Moses, "This is what you're gonna do now, and he's gonna roll with you for 40 years, and you're gonna teach that man everything you know." And you're gonna, you know how even if you're not getting fired from the job, and they hire new people, and you don't give them all the tools, like you give everybody all the tricks of the trade. All the cats you work with, they know all the tricks that you know for 20-something years?
No.
Hell nah, you gotta hold some of that, right? You gotta hold some of them tricks in your bag, because the more they know,
Right.
if they're equal to you, it makes you less valuable,
That's right.
right? So you gotta hold some value at that job. So I'm gonna show you how to do certain things, how to use certain tools the right way, but I got my shortcuts, right? I got my ways to do things where I can cut time off that ticket, right? I can save the company some money, whatever it may be. I'm going to hold those things close to the vest. But see, Moses couldn't do that. Moses had to give up everything. He had to give up all of it. Let me ask y'all a question. Let's be real here. You think Joshua didn't ask him, how come you ain't going over there? Yep. How you feel about that? You thought that were they robots or grown men? You think that they weren't having actual conversation? And Moses rolling with a man for 40 years and just talking to him? I'm not saying that he was confiding in him because he went to the Most High. But you think that there were candid, genuine conversation between Moses and Joshua? What's that?
Well, he had to learn that too.
What's that?
Not to be hit, to do exactly what the Most High tell him to do. Or he can wind up
just like Moses.
Like Moses.
Now, he didn't even need to be under Moses to see that. They all saw it.
Yeah.
They all saw it like, oh, this dude messed up, right? They all saw it. So nobody really had to be under Moses, but there were very many lessons. Remember, at one time, Joshua went up the mount with Moses. Remember, Moses went more than once. Joshua went up at one time. So guess what he was seeing? The glory, right? He was able to witness certain things on a different level than other men and women, right? But again, just think about you as why did it call Moses a meek man? Well, meekness, enduring injury without resentment. The injury was that you're not going into the promised land, but he didn't resent Joshua for it or blame him. He sat back, he taught him, he gave him the ins and outs, he showed him how to deal with Israel. He showed him how to continue to be that fierce warrior. Remember, Joshua was a warrior, right? He was a warrior all the way into his old age of 110, right? Well, he got a little old, he kind of lost his strength. Caleb kept his strength into his old age. He kept his strength. They said his face didn't even change, right? And Joshua and Caleb, they was road dogs. Right? They came from that same generation of men, and they were the only ones left. But think about and it wasn't that it was just Joshua. Think about it. Caleb was there too. What was he learning? Same things. Joshua on a different level. But 40 years. Bro, after 2, things get repetitive. They roll for 40. He said, nah, you ain't going to get this until 40, right? Go to Deuteronomy 31:14. Read that.
Deuteronomy chapter 31, verse 14.
Uh-huh.
And the Lord said unto Moses, Behold, thy days approach that thou must die.
Uh-huh.
Call Joshua and present yourself in the tabernacle of the congregation.
Right, so call Joshua and present yourselves in front of the congregation. Go ahead.
That I may give him a charge.
I'm going to do this in front of everybody. Read.
And Moses and Joshua went and presented themselves in the tabernacle of the congregation.
Go ahead.
And the Lord appeared in the tabernacle
Mm-hmm.
in a pillar of a cloud.
Mm-hmm.
And the pillar of the cloud stood over the door of the tabernacle.
Mm-hmm.
And the Lord said unto Moses, Behold, thou shalt sleep with thy fathers. What? Thou shalt sleep with thy fathers.
Right.
And this people will rise up and go a whoring after the gods of the
Right,
strangers.
right. That's all I wanted. So we see when Moses is getting ready to die, the actual charge now is given to Joshua. Moses dies, Joshua takes over. 40 years. Now let's deal with Saul and David. When was David anointed? We could go read it, but I'm asking you, I want to see if y'all are studying. When was David anointed?
He was a young boy.
Young boy, right? We could guesstimate.
17.
He's about 16, 17, 15, in that little ballpark, right? He was young. He was younger than all his bros, right? He was a teen. When was he anointed again? Okay, let me ask this question. How many times was David anointed? So he was anointed around 15, 16, right? But, okay, when did he become king? At what age? What? What
He was like 40.
He was 30.
Okay.
Yeah. But think about it. He was anointed as a boy. And what did he do for Saul? What?
He soothed him with music.
Right. He was the servant that played the harp for Saul. When Saul got demons, it's another class I got. We're going to go into some music. But when Saul got demons on him, he played. He got them spirits off him, right? But think about it. Did he play the harp for him for 15 years?
No.
Nah, part of that 15, he was doing what?
War.
Killing.
Okay, but we know that. He was killing, right? Philistines and other, but what was Saul and David doing? What was Saul doing to David for part of that 15 years?
Trying to take his life, basically.
Yeah, for the whole 15. For the whole 15, from the time he started playing the harp until he died, he was trying to kill David. Now, Saul was an evil dude. How come the Most High didn't just put David right when? Watch, go to 1 Samuel 16. Right when the Most High told Saul, go kill all the Amalekites. And he's in 1 Samuel 15, he says, oh, I did it. And then the Most High said, no, you didn't. There's back and forth. How come he didn't just, David, you're up? And I mean, literally just put the crown on his head. David already proved himself by what? Going to war, right? He already proved himself by going to war. Or he's going to prove himself by going to war against Goliath, right? The Most High already knew David's heart. He knew that he wouldn't even let a sheep. He was wrestling bears and lions to save sheep. So why not just, man, Saul, you out of the way now, immediately. You know how they give you that brown box when they fire you? And they got security escort you, right? How come they didn't give him the brown box with the cover on it and have security walk him out the kingdom? You gonna take what you came with. How come he didn't do it immediately? Why did he wait 15 years? And not just like some boring 15 years, like 15 years of David being on the run and being almost murdered by this guy a few times. What's the significance? What's the significance? What?
To me, it's like he wanted to show David an example of what not to do, how not to be.
Okay, example of what not to be. He took your answer. What else?
was gonna say the same thing.
Same thing. Okay, no, that's a good answer.
I was gonna say the same thing, building character in David.
Building David's character by showing him the opposite of what not to do.
Con.
Right? Where in Yahushua and the apostles, they were shown what to do and it's built their character. But they were also shown what not to do by looking at who?
Pharisees.
Right.
The Pharisees and the Sadducees. You see that? They heard about Paul. That's why when Paul rolled up, they was nervous. They were like, wait, this guy's a killer. Right? But they saw what to do and what not to do through example, through following, through just walking with Christ. Think about it. Just walking with Christ, think about the things they just saw. Damn, she touched his garment and was healed. And he didn't go into her. Damn, you got this damn nation asking, can she be healed? And Yahushua checked her, but then healed her. Right? Even the dogs get the crumbs. Well, you know what? You're right. Keep the party going. Right? They're seeing these different, there's so many, bro, there's so many things that the apostles saw. Like, it's hard to even say them all. Right? Remember when he rebuked the wind? They're like, damn, he commands the wind also? What goes through a man's mind when you see a man rebuke the wind? When you see a man walk on water? When you see a man feed a multitude
5,000.
of 5,000 with a few loaves and some fish? What does that do? When it's time to call down fire, but he doesn't. What is that supposed to build in you? What?
Humility.
Yeah, but what? Well, I'm gonna say it like this, and you're right. But it's supposed to build in you the opposite of all the things you don't have. Because if you want to call down fire from heaven, but it ain't time for fire, what's your problem? You're too aggressive. You're too hasty. You're too judgmental. So all these little things, I was like, nah, I'm not here to do that. No, I'm not here to do that. No, I'm here to do that. Nope, we ain't here to fight. When Peter cut off the centurion's ear, why did he heal him? Why didn't he just tell him from the jump, don't roll with a sword? He could have did that, right? But he cut his ear off and he heals him. What was he showing him? Well, he said it, live by the sword, die by the sword. But the whole time they're there with swords. They needed living examples. They needed living examples of things done in the moment to really understand. But you can't get moment examples. You can't get living examples off of YouTube. Think about when you were there with a man brushing his teeth. You know, some of the dopest times is when brothers go to the fair. When we used to go to the fairs, there'd be 3 brothers in one little small room. And guess what? You got to brush your teeth. You got to hear a brother snore. You got to smell his feet. You got to smell his breath. All that. You got very cozy with a man, right? But it built when brothers see each other in their everyday element of just how a brother wakes up, and you get to really understand. Like, oh, now I get it. There's a reason why you function the way you function, because the way you wake up, or the way you went to sleep, or the things you do before you sleep. You get to learn a person. Imagine what they learned about Yahushua, just rolling with him. Imagine what Elisha learned about Elijah. Right? They learned a lot. Now, what time is it? 8:21? Yeah, we got time. Go back to Samuel's and let's read this real quick. 16:1.
1 Samuel chapter 16, verse 1.
Go ahead.
And the Lord said unto Samuel, how long wilt thou mourn for Saul, seeing I have rejected him from reigning over Israel?
You see that? So Saul was rejected at this time, 15 years before David actually took over and was anointed as king of Judah. Because remember, he was anointed at 30, king of Judah, and then at 37, king of all Israel.
Con.
Y'all remember that?
Okay.
Right. Go ahead.
Fill thine horn with oil,
Right.
and go. I will send thee to Jesse,
Right.
the Bethlehemite.
Right.
For I have provided me a king among his sons.
Now think about it. I'm sitting there getting anointed as king. Ain't I supposed to roll like the king?
Con.
But I got this raggedy nigga trying to kill me. So shouldn't I just take him out? That's king stuff, right?
That's the Lord's anointed.
It's king stuff,
Con.
right? But see, there was different lessons being taught. Now, watch. Read on. Jump down to verse 11.
Verse 11. And Samuel said unto Jesse, Are here all thy children?
Mm-hmm.
And he said, There remaineth yet the youngest, and behold, he keepeth the sheep. And Samuel said unto Jesse,
Mm-hmm.
Send and fetch him, for we will not sit down till he come hither.
Mm-hmm.
And he sent and brought him in.
Mm-hmm.
Now he was ruddy, and with all of a beautiful countenance,
Uh-huh.
and godly to look to.
Goodly to look to. Go
Goodly
ahead.
to look to.
Mm-hmm.
And the Lord said, Arise, anoint him, for this is he.
13. Go ahead.
Then Samuel took the horn of oil and anointed him in the midst of his brethren. And the Spirit of the Lord came upon David from that day forward. So Samuel rose up and went to Ramah.
Right. 14.
But the Spirit of the Lord departed from Saul.
See that? So the spirit was gone from Saul, but it got on David. How come the Most High didn't just say, man, listen, the spirit is on you. Go ahead and just be king. Read. I want you to think about it. Read.
And an evil spirit from the Lord troubled him.
Why would he have an evil man for 15 years be king? How much damage that could do to the people? What type of example is that, Lord?
Yeah, that's true.
Yahweh, you let that cancer just roll for 15 years? Well, there's a few things at play here. Go to 2 Samuel 5 and verse 4.
Fine. 2 Samuel chapter 5, verse 4.
Right?
David was 30 years old when he began to reign.
Uh-huh.
And he reigned 40 years.
Right. So just so y'all get it and know where it's at, go ahead.
In Hebron, he reigned over Judah 7 years.
Right.
And 6 months.
Go ahead.
And in Jerusalem, he reigned 33 years over all Israel and Judah.
Right. Y'all see that? So, there's a word that Derek so beautifully used that when I looked it up, man, it blew my mind. The word protege. But when I looked it up, Derek, you used it. What's a protege?
Someone without knowledge who you choose to train.
Okay.
Well, someone that wants to emulate you.
Okay. That's what you did. Okay. Who else got the definition of protege off their head? Protege.
Off the top of my head,
Uh-huh.
I would say a protege is like the outcome of what you are, you know what I mean? By you teaching them, this is like the spin-off of you, but
Okay.
even better.
Okay. Who else? What?
I was gonna say the second image of you.
Okay. What?
Protege.
He's my protege. You're my protege. Right? Protege. Protege what?
When I think of protege, I think of somebody who has the natural spirit
Okay.
to move and do something, and then when they get taught, they just pick it up easily and have the same zeal type stuff to execute whatever position they do. Like I'm thinking like somebody who's like playing the piano. You put a piano before somebody, and they just start just hearing notes and they start going off.
Oh, that's the Rain Man. That's not a pro. That's more like there's a word for that. Where they can see something and do it. It's
Like
called
prodigy.
a prodigy. Yeah, a prodigy. Yeah, not this is protege. Right? Now, protege, first of all, is not even an English word. It's not an English word, right? At all. Like this is a word that even when it has the little above the e's, it has like you're supposed to say it.
Right, like
Italics, protege, right? Protege means to be protected. Someone that needs to be protected. Now, I want y'all to let that sink in. All 12 apostles were proteges. David was a protege. Joshua was a protege. Elisha was Elijah's protege. They needed to be protected, right? Watch. When you go to the etymology of the word. Now, protege. one who is under the care or protection of another. From the French protege, protege, one who is protected. Pro is to go before. Protege means to protect. So I'm the protection before you. Y'all get it yet? Right? Where we at? Let's see here. When you go to the, I got it here. You go to the etymology. One who's on protection, another. Yeah, it says to protect, to cover or shield from danger, harm, damage, exposure, trespass, temptation, insult, etc. Protection, shelter, defense. One who shields from harm or injury. Now, let's think about it. David had the Spirit on him. Let's go backwards. Saul didn't. How the hell could he be a protege? All the apostles they was chilling already. They was good. They had jobs. They was chilling with their daddy. Matthew was a tax collector. We forget about Luke. Luke was a doctor.
Yeah.
He was a doc. High stature, high ranking position. A doctor? Ooh, girl. He makes 6 figures, right?
Six pack,
6 feet tall, 6 figures, right? 666. But the point is, what did Luke have to be protected from? Peter, John, Matthew. What did they need to be protected from? What did Elijah need to be protected from? Like, he was good with, he was at Papa's house. Papa had dough. Papa had 12 yoke. So he had money. He had money and fields. What did Elisha need to be protected from? Or why did he have to be protected by someone? Y'all are like, damn. Y'all thought y'all knew that definition, didn't y'all? Y'all thought y'all knew that definition, didn't y'all? I thought I knew that definition. So I looked it up. You know what hit me? There was something that Tahawam had said in class Saturday. He said there's a lot of words that we think are English, but they're French or they're something, and they stay that. They mean one thing somewhere else, but they mean a totally different thing. Somewhere he was going into the higher thing. And it's funny because after that class, I was putting this together and I looked up that word. I don't know why. Something was like protege. I had apprentice in my head. Apprentice is one that works for nothing, right? But protege hit me. I'm like, man, let me look this up. Protege. Damn. Protege. That's what these men were. But what protected from what? That's the question. What were they protected from? Why did the apostles have to roll with Christ 3 years, and what were they being protected from? I want you to think about the apostles. Think about them. David. Hey, David, you could be the king now. You're 15. Here you go. Why did he need 15 years of protection? Hey, Joshua. You see Moses mess up, but guess what? We're going to get 80-year-old Moses out of the way with all his experience, and you at 19, 20, 21 with zilch experience. Here you go, Joshua. Run the whole camp. Right?
6.
Oh, I'm going to go there.
Oh.
What?
They had to be protected from themselves.
Whoo, Derek. Yeah, bro. Yeah. But what about, okay, now, what about themselves?
The mistakes that they could make by being in the world. So if you in the world, then you can make certain mistakes like teenage pregnancy, moms getting pregnant, or things like that.
The mistakes of the world, but think about this, and you're right. Moses was following the Most High, and guess what he did? Give me water, damn it. Not just the mistakes in the world, but the mistakes in trying to walk righteously. But where do those mistakes come from? Go there real quick. 2 Timothy 3 and 6.
1 Timothy
Or
chapter
1
3,
Timothy 3 and 6.
Good man.
First Timothy.
Go ahead.
Chapter 3, verse 6.
Right.
Not a novice.
Not a what?
Novice.
See, these men were novice. They were novice in eating the bread of the water of adversity. The what is it? The water of adversity and the bread of affliction. They were novice. They were not. What did Joshua really even go through at that age?
Nothing.
What experience did he have? None. The apostles, they were young men. They weren't teens, but they were young. What experiences did they have other than fishing and being at home with their families all day? Elisha, what experience did he have other than plowing? You see it? David, what experience did he have other than being at home under Jesse and being ran over by his brothers, right? Being treated badly by his brothers. What experience did he have to be able to lead, or they to lead? Now, you know why I love the apostles? Because when you look at them, you could single out Peter and say, damn, this nigga Peter, man, he was about the Lord, but he was dead wrong in some aspects. Why would Yahushua call him a devil? Peter, thou hast the devil. Get behind me, Satan. You savors not the things of the Lord. Now, Peter was like, listen, he was trying to go to bat for Christ. You ain't going to go out there and die. You savors not the things of the Lord. Get behind me. What's the other one? Judas, thief. Who were the ones that, hey, we got to feed this multitude? How are we going to do that? Right? There were different character situations in these men. I'm not going to say flaws. But there were different character situations in these men that they had to be literally saved from themselves. Because if it was up to the apostles, they would call fire from heaven every time they were rejected from a city. Wasn't that their mode? Mm-hmm. Wait a minute, they rejected us, right? Watch, go there real quick. Go to Luke. Go to Luke. 9:49.
Luke chapter 9, verse 49.
Go ahead.
And John answered and said, Master, we saw one casting out devils in thy name.
Right.
And we forbade him.
Right, see, they're over there teaching. They got fringes on, but listen, we shut that down. Wait, what? That's the Spirit of the Lord?
Shut them down.
Wait, so they were teaching in the name of Yahweh Shem Yahushai? And you were like, no, y'all are wicking it off the block. That's our block, our corner? Oh, okay. So you're trying to hold on to the wrong things. You think that America is yours. You think a corner is yours. See, that's that childish spirit that he was checking in the apostles. Like, should we shut them down because they ain't rolling with us?
Oh.
They ain't rolling with us, right? They ain't a part of the clan.
Mm-hmm.
Nah, listen. They're doing the right thing. Let them roll.
That makes sense. Damn.
Childish, bro.
Mm-hmm.
Childish.
You know, I'll give a good example. I saw recently online, there was these young brothers, they was street speaking. And this was actually like on World Star. And they were street speaking and they had a Quran. And you had a Muslim guy that was there. He was like begging them. He was like, no, don't step on the Quran. Don't do that. I'll buy you all the Bibles you want. He was like, just give me the Quran. Don't do nothing bad to the Quran. And they're like, this your Quran? This your Quran? And they took it.
Stepped on it. Burned
Stepped on it.
Peed on it.
Like just threw it on the ground like it was nothing. And the Muslims guys like, nah, don't do it. You know what I'm saying?
And these were Israelites?
These were Israelites.
These were ignorant.
They were all young.
Ignorantalites.
They were all young. And
but why would they do that? Because they have nobody sitting there showing them like, no, you don't do that because the world is watching.
Yeah.
That's not how you want to present yourself. And you don't have to do that, whether the world is watching or not. Mm-hmm. You would never ever see the elders on camera or off camera stomping out Qurans, cursing people out, calling women bitches. You didn't hear that from the elders. When Yeshaya, when Ariah, Masha, when them brothers was teaching, there's video. Ariala, the words were smooth, like butter, like cutting, like a hot knife cutting through hot butter.
Yep.
And you'd be like, damn, eloquence is how they spoke, with an eloquent tone, eloquent speech. You would never see, and people combated and went crazy and did all the stuff they're doing now, but you would never hear like, oh yeah, one of the elders got arrested because he punched the cat in the face and he called him a faggot and he sprayed him with the mace and he hit him with the staff. I've seen the same brothers from the same camp get arrested like 15 times and they started it. I'm like, yeah, if a cat's walking by that's a faggot and you just blatantly call him a damn faggot, he gonna turn up. That's what faggots do.
Yep.
Right? But see, there had to be a level of, I gotta be a protege. See, a lot of men don't want to be proteges.
Yeah.
You want to be the leader. The protege is protected. Well, how am I protected in that instance? Well, someone is going to sit back and show you how to do the things to not get you beat up on the streets during street speaking, to not offend a whole community of radical ass people. Come on, man, let the wrong Muslim cat catch that clip. And he's gunning for every Israelite.
Yep.
He don't give a damn because they're going to think we all think like that. I'm glad you brought that out. I didn't even hear about that.
Yeah.
But think about it. Should we kick them off the block? They want to deal with their own people. Yahushua was like, what? Let's finish it.
Because he followeth not with us.
Right, because he ain't walking with us. He's teaching in your name, but he ain't walking with us. That's how these, bruh. That's how these camp bangers be.
Yeah.
That's how these camp bangers be. If you ain't riding with a certain acronym, you're not qualified to teach and all this nonsense. But you could sit up with a bottle of Henny, smelling like cigarettes and teach. You could pass out flyers smelling like Henny. And that qualifies you because you got a certain acronym. It doesn't make sense. But see, what happened is the protege of the protege should have had a protege. Some protection. But there was no one to protect at a certain level, so now everything's broken down, so it's a free-for-all.
Yeah.
Read on.
Verse 50.
Right?
And Yahushua said unto him, forbid him not, for he that is not against us is for
That's
us.
simple. Like, just because he ain't walking with us, look, he's doing what you just said he's doing. He's teaching in my name.
Yeah.
He's spreading the same word. Let him go do his thing in his corner. We gonna ride. Next instance, read on.
Verse 51. And it came to pass, when the time was come that he should be received up, he steadfast and set his face to go to Jerusalem.
Go ahead.
And sent messengers before his face.
Go ahead.
And they went and entered into a village of the Samaritans.
Right.
To make ready for him.
Read.
And they did not receive
So
him.
the Samaritans didn't receive him. They're like, nah, you're not welcome. Go ahead.
Because his face was as though he would go to Jerusalem.
Go ahead.
And when his disciples James and John saw this, they said, Lord, wilt thou that we command fire to come down from heaven and consume them, even as Elias did?
Elijah. Now, how many times did Elijah call fire from heaven to consume anything? Right. They making it seem like Elijah was just walking by with flames like he was damn the Human Torch. Flame on! In every instance, he just flamed the cat. You see, they're being protected from their naivete, their own ignorance. This is the importance of a guide, of a leader, because a protege needs to be protected from himself. The things that are in him that he doesn't realize that are negative or hurtful or harmful. They want to call down fire, and it's like, bruh. What did Christ say? Read.
But he turned and rebuked them.
He did what?
He turned and rebuked
Yeah, he had to rebuke them, and sharply. A Christ rebuke is sharp. He had to correct them, man. Like, wait a minute. Y'all looking at things the wrong way. 2 back-to-back instances and y'all just want to cause hell, cause havoc? What's going on in you? Where's your mind at? Where's your mental at? You're gonna cause more damage than you will good because of your mentality. What's that?
So like Simeon and Levi, when they did that thing, wiped out the whole nation of men.
Right?
Jacob was like, "You stain my name." Right?
Yeah, you made my name stink amongst the heathen. Yep.
And then, as you said, Yahushua sharply rebuked them to avoid that. Like he was like,
Oh, what? First of all, they wasn't calling down no fire from heaven without Christ, without him giving the okay. They wasn't on that level. They just start rolling. They like 2 seconds in. Ain't no fire from heaven anywhere. They were basically like, Christ, are you going to call down fire from heaven like Elias did? They wasn't on no level yet. You see that? But they're thinking that everything had to be a fire and brimstone moment. Everything had to be sledgehammer moment where, nah, let's make it real easy. Let's just get up and go to the next city. Right? Let's avoid drama. Think about like when you go to the club. Well, I haven't been to a club in a long time. But you go. There's certain people you know. Like I ain't going out with that person because every time we go out, it's a high intensity moment. It's fight. It's this. It's that. Everything got to be a fight. Everything got to be a. Man, what's that nigga looking at? Nothing. He got diarrhea. He looking at nothing. Everything got to be a moment of tension and fighting. That's what Yahushua was showing these guys. What's that?
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. That's why you see these young guys, older guys that had these young guys come on. That's my shooter.
Yeah,
because they know
these.
They ain't got no sense. They ain't learned yet.
Yep.
And so they can use them like this.
And instead of protecting them instead of protecting them from their own selves, they use that energy that they got on them. It's funny. I seen one thing on was it Instagram, and the dude was walking up to the store. And he's like, man, it's funny. It was the opposite. He's like, man, these young niggas out here, they just too hard. And the dude was like, yeah. He was on the phone. He was like, yeah, you better have my work and my guns and my this. They were playing a prank,
right?
Like a sketch or whatever. He was like, yeah, you better have my work. He was acting real hard. You better have my work, my guns, or that's gonna be a problem for your life. He was going in. He was like, man. He's like, bro, you too young to be so hard. He's like, how old are you? Like 5? Because he looked real young. And he was like, what? He like he about to shoot him. He's like, no, I'm just saying, you look young. He's like, bro, you gotta cry sometimes. You just gotta go home and get a good cry. He was like, no, hell no. He was like, man, you live with you. He started going through his family. He's like, man, my grandma, he started crying, my grandmama died. And then he's like, see, don't it feel good? But he was clowning. He was clowning them, showing like these young dudes, they way too aggressive. And if somebody's not there to sit there to protect them from their own emotions and their own outlook on things, they're going to act in a certain way.
Very true.
Shit, John would have, they would have been more than happy to blaze this place up. Samaritans? But ain't that how young cats in the truth think? Dirty, filthy Africans, we just going to burn brimstone and fire all through the whole world and that's it? Well, if you burn everything up, what the hell are you going to have left?
Kick down doors, suplex Christmas trees.
Yeah, you kicking down doors in full garment, rebuking everybody in the house. You're wicked, you're a pagan, you're this, you're that, right? Y'all are all going to hell. Christ is coming, he's going to burn y'all all.
I might burn you right now.
All the scriptures. Because there has to be a level of, watch, go to, finish that up.
Verse 55. But he turned and rebuked them and said, ye know not what manner of spirit ye are of.
See that? You don't know the manner of spirit. You don't know your spirit. You don't have no control. Go to Hebrews 5. You have no control over yourself. This is why it's important to be a protege first. Be protected. Everybody looks at following as some man, well, I got to follow them. Because you don't know what manner of spirit you are of. That's why. You don't know what demons you got on you. You don't know what angels or demons you got on your head. Someone has to sit there and say, "Yo, you got demons on you." It don't gotta go. We don't gotta do it like that, right? We could just talk this one out or avoid the problem completely. Read it.
Verse 2.
Hebrews 5:12.
Hebrews chapter 5, verse 12.
Right?
For the time you ought to be teachers,
Go ahead.
ye have need that one teach you again, which be the first principles of the oracles of the Most High.
See, when you are supposed to be in a position to administer teaching, someone had to stop you and protect you. Because the way you were going to do things was wrong. Okay, check this out. Brothers can relate to this. You're dealing with your rib on something, you go into her super hard. Then you go to the brother like, I just went into my rib. It's like, what'd she do? She looked at me wrong. Like, what? Okay, how'd you go in? And you went in with Thor's hammer, Melmer, right? What's his name? Melner. You hit her with Melner, right? Where all she needed was the magic touch. All she needed was a little smooth convo. And the brother's like, damn, you went that way? Okay, because what I would have did was the total opposite of what you did. And you were like, damn, I'm going to try that.
Done.
Because when you went into her, she bucked up, and then you had to go in harder, and you had to hit her more, and you're like, how come she's not receiving me? Well, because the way you came. What I would have did was talk, hey, that was, you should have did that. And maybe she would have been like, I get it. You know what? You're right, babe. And when you try it the next time, bing, the light bulb's going. You're like, oh my God, it works. It works. Bing bong, right? Too much TikTok, right? But it works. What were you not protected from? Well, you were just protected from all the things that come with back and forth arguing and contention. You just protected the mentality, your mind state of dealing with a disgruntled woman or a disgruntled person. How come you, like, that's why we always talk about different interactions that we go through. So such and such came to the car and he was on this. Oh yeah, so how'd you handle that? Well, I smacked the hell out of him. Really? Oh damn, that's a bit extreme. Okay, so now we gotta wait for him to come back and retaliate. So that's what you set up. Or such came to the car and he was talking crazy, talking reckless, making false accusations. Oh, what'd you say to him? Man, I just ignored him. Con. So we ain't got to worry about no blowback. Or, you know what? I didn't say too much because I didn't want to add fuel to the fire. You know what? Perfect. I'm going to go handle it. I'll take the blowback. I'll take the fire. You see,
God.
We got to understand that to follow is not a bad thing. To have a guide, the water of adversity, the blood of affliction will kill you. You'll choke on that bread. You'll drown in that water. You'll drown in that water. That water will become more than just a cup. It'll be a 7-foot pool and you can't tread. And you're sitting there like, how come I'm, well, shit, I'm over here backstroking. All you gotta do is relax. I don't know how to relax. Let me show you how to relax. Look, here, you know what? Get the floaties. Let's put the floaties on you. Right? Let's get the life vest. Right? Take all these things that you need. Be a protege.
Yeah.
Read on.
And are become such as have need of milk.
What type of people that need, newborn babies need what from their parents? They need what? We know that. We know they need that. What do they need though? They need protection. In every shape, form, facet of the word, they need it. Babies that need milk need protection. First of all, my little brand new baby can't get up off the bed and go do a damn thing for herself. She farts and starts crying. She thinks that the world is over. Like all babies though, they fart, they're like, ah! right? They start like, because they don't know what's going on. They're like, oh my God, my butt moved. Help! What's that? Like, what's happening, right? Like something just happened. They don't know what's going on. Then the diaper is wet. They lose it. Protect me from this wet diaper. Okay, you take off their clothes. Now protect me from the cold air. Okay, let's get the diaper off you. Let's get the clothes. Oh my God, this wet wipe. Protect me from that. How do you know? Because everything that you take their clothes off, they get cold, they cry. You warm up the thing in your hand to try to get it warm. You put it on their skin, they cry. Right? They want to be protected, but they need it. Because why? They're not skillful in any facet of life. The apostles, Elijah, David, they were only good in certain things that they knew, but there was more that they needed to know. Remember, David, it said that he was a warrior. So he knew how to fight. He knew how to kill things. Listen, for you to go wrestle a bear and a lion, you a killer.
Take care of yourself.
You know how to handle some business, right? Nobody trained David how to fight but the Lord. He said David got his 10,000 bodies. Saul didn't have to teach him how to get bodies. He had to learn a lot of patience through Saul, through not wanting to retaliate through Saul, right? I'm messing with words. Retaliate. He had to learn many different characteristics that if he thought he knew it at that time, you just didn't. You didn't. How did he not know it? Because he never been through those situations with Saul. He never been through that. Yeah. The things that he went through with Saul, that was his first time. The things that Elisha was going to deal with Elijah, first time. Ain't no man, he never seen no man get picked up in a chariot. How do you handle that? He never seen another man call down fire from heaven. He never seen a man, there was many things that Elijah did. Dipping from this town to that town, running away from kings, healing kings. Elijah was sitting back for a lot of that. Like, oh, that's how you do that? Oh, no. Just go to the river, huh? And bathe. Right? There was a lot of things. The apostles. Whoa. So that's how you heal devils. So you first communicate with them, understand them, and then rebuke them. You don't chain a person up, you don't, right? Because ain't that the way they were doing it? When they had devils on them, they were chaining them up and treating them a certain type of way. Oh, that's what it means to have compassion. When they said they brought all people with all manner of sickness, oh damn, that's compassion right then and there. Like he didn't push nobody away because of the way they looked. He didn't make fun of them. He didn't talk bad about them. Cats had crooked feet, crooked arms, elbow twisted, all types of weird stuff. Hand warped. Cerebral palsy, right? They said they had the palsy. They had all types of demons. And he wasn't treating them like they were the issue. Oh, damn. That's how we're supposed to do that. Okay. So we can't just turn people away just because. Okay. You see, all these things, just like the man that came to Christ and said, I followed the law from my youth up. Okay. Well, come be my apprentice. Let me show you that it's more than just the law. It's more than just the law. There's a lot of little small intricacies that you have to learn to really qualify yourself. It's not just, oh, I didn't eat pork. Con. Babies don't eat pork if you train them. What makes you more different than a child with fringes? Right? My child wears fringes. My little son wears fringes. What makes him any different than any one of us? And he don't even know to wear them. We just throw them on him. Right? But what is he going to be able to do if he sits back and becomes a protege of mine? He'll get the understanding of fringes. Yeah. Why we don't eat pork? Why we don't this? Why we don't that? How come we don't do certain things? He'll get the understanding, but he has to want to be a protege. He has to want to let me protect him. Noah, the same thing. They want to have to let me protect. But what does that take? I got to listen. I got to be willing to hear. I got to follow. See, I want you to read on.
Verse 13.
Uh-huh.
For everyone that useth milk is unskillful in the word of righteousness.
Go ahead.
For he is a babe.
Show me a babe that can protect themselves. And I'll show you a dead animal in any part of the world, in any kingdom. Just show me. When that as big as an elephant comes out of his mama's crotch, as big as an elephant is, that thing needs to be protected because he's slow. He's not. He's unsure-footed, right? He's not aware of his surroundings. He don't know what a lion can do. He ain't never seen a lion kill. You know why that mama elephant will trample after that lion? Because she knows what 3 or 4 lions can do. She's seen it. She probably seen a family member took out. She probably seen other animals taken out. So she knows, wait a minute, my little cub ain't got no chance.
Yeah.
But the little elephant baby, oh, he just running around flapping ears and flapping trunk.
Yeah.
Right? Trying to breathe in air and trying to get his feet under him. They don't know what's going on. See, one of the problems is, go to Proverbs 26. Go to Proverbs 20 and 6. Read it.
The book of Proverbs, chapter 20, verse 6.
Go ahead.
Most men will proclaim everyone his own goodness.
Right?
But a faithful man, who can find?
See, that's the thing. Everyone is going to proclaim their goodness. But a faithful man in what? Faithful in what? Well, Elijah needed Elisha to be faithful in things different from what Yahweh needed the apostles to be faithful in. Different circumstance. David needed to be faithful in different things than what the apostles needed to be faithful in. Now, generally speaking, they all had to be faithful in all the same things. But there were other small things that David needed that the apostles had and vice versa. There were things that Elisha had that David needed. Y'all see what I'm saying? Everybody's circumstance wasn't the same exact circumstance.
Yeah.
So what I have to be faithful in is going to be a little bit different than what he needs to be faithful in. He might have faith down. I may not. I might have long suffering down. He may not. So the things that I have to be faithful in are different. But it's easy to say, oh yeah, I'm faithful. Really? Okay. Okay. Remember, I kept the law from my youth up. I'm ready to follow. Okay. You sure? Let's see. I'm gonna put you to the test. It says, I'm gonna read this one. He that is first in his own cause seemeth just, but his neighbor come and searches him out. That's Proverbs 18 and 17. How does he search him out? Well, you get put in predicaments and situations to prove your faithfulness, to prove your cause. You see that? To prove what are you really about. Well, listen, I'm a righteous man, Christ. Really? Well, then sell all you have and follow me. Give it to the poor. Ooh, I ain't that righteous. You see that? I'm not that righteous. I'll follow to an extent. Jump back to Hebrews real quick. 5 and 1.
Hebrews chapter 5, verse 1.
Right? Right, go ahead.
For every high priest taken from among men is ordained for men in things pertaining to the Most High.
Right.
That he may offer both gifts and sacrifices for sin.
Go ahead.
Who can have compassion on the ignorant.
Go ahead.
And on them that are out of the way.
Go ahead.
For that he himself also is compassed with infirmity.
Go ahead.
And by reason hereof he ought, as for the people, so also for himself, to offer for sins.
Where you at?
Verse 4.
Go ahead.
And no man taketh this honor unto himself.
See, one of the problems that we have to be protected from is taking the honor to ourselves and self-promoting. That's one of the things that the apostles, David, Joshua, wasn't that the problem with Adonijah and Solomon? Adonijah self-promoted and got what? He got killed for that. Well, it wasn't just that, but in the end, he got killed. Absalom, self-promoted, right? Yeah. He self-promoted. He got killed. He took it upon himself to say that this is what I am. instead of sitting back and saying, wait a minute, you have these things in you, yes, but let's work these things out of you first. So you become what you think you are. We all in here is what? Kings and priests, right? But really, we're all in here a bunch of dirtbags. Let's be real. We're all a bunch of dirtbags. Why? Because the king hasn't worked into you yet. The dirtbag nigga is still in you. Sorry. Me too. Hand raised all the way. Right? It's real. It's real. The dirtbag in us comes out more than the king or the priest. And what it is we're supposed to be sitting back and letting the dirtbag get washed out of you. Through what? When you see a man of wisdom, give betimes him. Just like Elisha, Elijah, David, he had to get the things out of him, worked out of him through Saul's negative. It was like a counter thing. It's weird. It wasn't a direct teaching, but it was indirect. Sitting back and saying, ooh. Like, oh, damn, we heard about that. You think they wasn't hearing about Saul? Then they weren't hearing it? He was the king. They heard everything about Saul. Like, oh, this nigga's he about to get what's the word for not promoted. He about to get demoted. He about to get demoted. Like, damn, Most High about to demote Saul. I wonder who he gonna put up. Demoted? What did he do? Well, you know the Amalekites, man. They had brought that one king. Agag was down the block. What? Samuel had to get up. Come on, man. You know how black folks are. We just get the gossiping. Hey, you know Moses, man, he was supposed to hit the rock, but that nigga, man, that nigga was tripping because he hit that rock, bro. But he was supposed to talk to it. Most High is pissed. I wonder who he going. Man, Joshua, that nigga's weak. That nigga's weak, B. I could do it. I can lead the people. Come on, Korah and Dathan. Moses, but I'm older and richer. Self-promoting. Sense is not exercised because I don't want to be a protege. I don't want to be protected from the negative things in me that are gonna once I see those things that are in me, I can shield myself from gravitating to that negative. That's all it is. It's hey, these things are in you, don't do them. But if I don't want nobody to tell me nothing, I'm gonna do me, right? Ain't that what the world is on? Do you, right? Do you. Do what you want. Live free. Finish it up. Go ahead.
But he that is called of the Most High,
right,
as was Aaron.
Jump to where you at?
Verse 5. Going.
Jump down to verse 5. Go ahead.
Verse 5.
Oh, okay, I got you. Read.
So also Yahushua glorified not himself to be made in high priest.
You see that? Yahushua didn't make himself a high priest. He had to wait for that honor to be bestowed on him. But what did he have to do? Wasn't he the protege of the Most High? I came not to do my own will, but the will of him that sent me. Right? So think about it. If I give you a charge to do something, that means I'm telling you that do it the way I want and not the way you want. Because it may not work the way you want or the way you would do it. Do it this way. But if I tell you and you go opposite, what does that show? That there's things in you that got to be worked out. A little bit of rebellion, right? What was David seeing in Saul? Rebellion, covetousness, greed, envy, hate, murderous intentions, right? Trickery. Remember when he said he was going to give his daughter to David, and he gave his daughter to a whole other nigga? Yep. David had to go get his woman back, right? But deception. He was seeing all these things in Saul. So now when it's his time, I'm not going to repeat those things. Go ahead, read. Let's get up out of here.
Verse 6.
Jump down to verse 8.
Verse 8. Though he were a son,
go ahead,
yet learned he obedience by the things which he suffered.
Now think about that. When did Yahushua suffer? In the kingdom? What, he was suffering on the right hand of the Father? So when did he learn his real obedience? Down here. So at any time, what is it saying? He could have been disobedient. At any time, he could have disobeyed. Go ahead.
and being made perfect, he became the author of eternal salvation unto all them that obey him.
Right. Go to let's end it here. Go to Matthew 10:24. I hope y'all understand the class. Matthew 10:24.
I definitely do. It's reading it.
Read.
Matthew chapter 10, verse 24. The disciple is not above his master.
Go ahead.
Nor the servant above his Lord.
Right. Read.
It is enough for the disciple that he be as his master.
See, there shouldn't be a. I don't need a master. I don't need to be somebody's disciple. I don't need to follow. I don't need to. He said it's enough that the master and the disciple just be equal. So what does it say? How can the disciple equal up to the master? Is it that the master is degrading and downgrading and losing? Like, did Daniel's son? What was Daniel's son's master? Did Mr. Miyagi just get whack? All of a sudden, he just forgot how to do wax on, wax off? No, Daniel's son caught up and attained to Mr. Miyagi. But how did he get there? When you watch all them Karate Kids, part 1, part 2, part 3, Black Karate Kid, Girl Karate Kid, how did they all get there? Cobra Kai versus, how did they get there? They had to follow. They had to follow the leader to become as good as the master. David said it. He said, I became better than my teachers. Why though? Because I keep thy precepts, right? Not because I learned for 2 seconds and then went and did my own thing. He said, I became better than my masters because I kept what they said. I did what they did. So what we got to understand, is that when in doubt, I'll end it here unless they got something to say, but when in doubt, when it's time to follow, when it's time to be led, you got to sit back and say, what am I being protected from? What's in me that needs to be shielded from me? Meaning, if I follow the negatives in me, how far is it going to take me out the way? How far to the left? How far to the right? And is my leadership, is my guide, mentor, I like to use those words. My guide, I'm not going to say camp leader, I'm not going to say general, I'm not going to say, is my guide, is my elder brother, right? I'm going to use church words, my elder brother, my guide, the bishop, right? What is he telling me to do? Keep going left, keep going right, or is he trying to straighten me up? That's it. Another little point, we went there, right? 1 Timothy 3.
Novice.
Well, when you look at all those qualities of the bishop, why did you have to attain to those qualities and not the other? Why do you say not a drunkard, not a striker? Well, because the opposite of those qualities were the things that if you didn't have the 1 Timothy 3 in you or didn't fight for those things, you would go to the negative things that caused harm. If I'm a drunkard, how much harm do I cause? If I'm a striker, how much harm do I cause? If I'm a womanizer, how much harm do I cause? Not just to myself, but to others. How much damage? So now if I'm following 1 Timothy, the 3rd chapter, 1 down to 6, I'm minimizing the damage that I can cause to myself, first and foremost, and then to others as a byproduct. Y'all see that? So to attain 1 Timothy 3, you would have to be a protege. Let me protect you from being a drunkard. Let me protect you from being hateful. Let me protect you from being a whoremonger. Let me show you how to be protected. This is what I do to not be in that situation. I go home at night, right? I don't sit at the bar all day. I don't be in the wrong crowd. I don't go here. I don't go here. Let me protect you. That's really what it's saying. All right, so any questions? Or y'all got anything? No. Any questions? I'm not trying to keep y'all here all super late. What's that? Yeah, what's up?
Another question coming. But yeah, I see that a lot though in Israel though. Brothers have a problem following other brothers, or don't be knowing what the hell they be talking about, but they want to sit up and argue with a brother that know what they talking about just because they don't want to listen to the brother that know they talking about them.
Yeah. Well, you know why? Because listen, like, he knows things different than I know things. And there's things that he knows that I don't know, and vice versa. But see, if he lets that same spirit ride in him, the way it works is, it's, well, I know something too. So he's like, well, I know something too. Why I got to follow you for? Well, yeah, you know something too, but you know on your level. And that's where a lot of brothers don't get it, where you know on your level. But that's why you'll see, like, the cats that's getting arrested, they're always usually the young Israelite brothers getting arrested on the streets is usually the young Israelite brothers that's gotten the truth yesterday. And they think that back and forth with Esau on camera, that's the way to do it. But Matthew says, agree with the adversary quickly. Yeah. Right? But, and you don't got to be some aged man to know that. But the age and being out there and experiencing and dealing with people, you're like, I see why that's important. Because I might jump to a conclusion. I remember, listen, we go street speaking, it used to be crazy when we would go over there off escorts and they'd pull up like 5, 6, 7, 8 patrol cars on us. And we would sit there just, and then hey officer, how are you? Right? We just act all just chipper, right? Hey, what you need? Oh, permit? Oh yeah, we got that, yeah. Yep. Man, where you from? Right? It was one Nigerian cat out there. Man, where you from? We started teaching him. There was a Chinese dude. Yeah, they brought the whole NATO out there one time. It was like a Chinese, it was an African, it was a white chick, it was a white dude, it was a Middle Eastern cat. We were like, what the hell's going on here? Right? But we were cool with them. But if we jumped to conclusions or met their aggression, what's going to happen? Well, somebody would have got shot that night. All to say what? Or if we want to look a certain way, we got to look at that too. Like, brothers do that because they want to look a certain way. Why does all this doctrine come out? All these different doctrines. Well, I want to be able to have something that nobody has. I want to be looked at as the guy that brought this to the table.
Yeah, gotta come here to get it.
I read the Bible. I read the whole Bible. I know this.
Yeah.
They don't be doing
But they don't be. But then it's like, well, they're the ones that'll say the whole Bible is written in allegory. Right? Or they're the ones that'll say, yeah, we're the home of the truth. So the whole 144,000 is going to come from your one school, where you ain't even got 144 members. So we gonna be here for a while, is what you're saying. If we waiting on y'all, right? Like the whole home of the truth is you. So how long we gonna be here until y'all get 144 of the chosen? Like, how long we gonna be here, right? It's little things like that where people are just ignorant, but they're saying things to get aroused and get a reaction. And that is one of the issues in Israel is it's like what happened in Exodus. Who appointed you a leader over us, Moses? It's like, God did. But see, what we haven't come to terms with in this day and age is that we have many leaders in Israel.
Yeah.
It ain't just one school or just one elder, because even back then it wasn't just one elder; it was 7, right? And they said, "Okay, look, go here, do this, make this happen, make that happen." Things were happening before somebody came along and tried to corner the truth, try to trademark the truth. Yeah, brothers really think they got the truth on like trademarked.
Vanguard.
Yeah, like
we're the Vanguard.
Yeah, we're the only qualified ones to teach the Bible. No, it says a nation of kings and priests. Mm-hmm. A nation. I'm part of the nation. He's part of the nation. He's part of the nation. Right? So, yeah, you're right. And this topic is so thick. Yeah. It got so many different levels.
Right.
I mean, we basically really.
I was just thinking about like how old people is like your grandma said, I ain't gonna have no black man to work on me. I got a white doctor, and some people want black doctors, or they want a certain person to work on their house or something like that. I ain't going to no, dentists and some people that just don't respect their own. But you go get somebody from another nation, and they gonna believe it. You say, well, I just should have got Esau to come up here and tell you. They run with it.
Got it.
Yep.
That's why I ain't gonna lie. That's why whenever I see like a Esau, Edomite telling the truth, I always just pass that to the family because they ain't gonna listen to me. So I'm just
They gonna be quiet and they don't give
Yeah.
them all that disruption and stuff. Now we was up here, the church, you know, it's quiet as a bug. They get all the respect in the world, and then
It's true.
you come out there and you get every scoffer in the every scoffer on the block be up there trying to disrupt you
kind.
of your own kind.
Yep.
Of your own brother.
Because that's what they be on. Yep. That it?
Yes.
All right. Well, once again, to water everybody online for joining us. We do have what is it? Purim?
Purim.
Yeah, Purim is going to be coming up. I think it's sometime in March.
Oh, it's in March.
Yeah. Yeah, it's more like March. We'll have the exact date for y'all. Look out for that. No, Purim, Passover. So start getting your things ready for those 2 days. Purim is what, 2 days? Purim is 2 days. Passover is 1. We are hosting the Passover here in Houston, so start booking your flights, your hotels, whatever. Start getting those things together. The sooner the better. Yeah, with that, we'll say shalom.
Shalom.